Hello, everybody. We are live. We're still waiting on one of our players for tonight, but two of our players will be out with other commitments for the evening. Oh, hey, and there's our fourth player for the evening joining us right now. But we are here and ready to get back into the game. So, where we last left our players, they had been traveling with a caravan and they had encountered a centaur and an elf from the Feywild. After securing the area around the camp and fighting off some hags, they went back to camp and learned the story of Cyrodiil as
How dare
she,
you call those lovely ladies hags?
yes, as she um, explained her history. She shared with them a onyx cuboid that she believes is important. She's not entirely sure why. The players spent a little bit of time investigating it, determined that it may be a relic of the goddess of beginnings. After continuing on with the caravan, they came across some dwarfs fighting, and upon intervening and separating out the two remaining dwarfs who were fighting, our players have tied them up to trees, and that is where we pick up. So, you have separated these two dwarfs who are fighting. You've tied one to the tree towards the north side of the camp and one to the tree towards the south side of this camp. There are still fires that are burning. As you know, they are attempted pyres, small pyres for burning bodies. And you've gone around trying to put them out and help control the fires. But what would you like to do with these two dwarfs you now have in your custody?
Put them in
I'm
timeout.
We already did that. They're in timeout. We've tied them to trees.
Let's talk
That's
to
a
the friendly one first, the one that wasn't trying to kill the other one actively, because
and
I sense
remember,
that he's probably the good guy.
remember, we have no idea. We
Yeah,
understand that one of the dudes is getting jumped, but we don't know if he was a bad guy and he's getting jumped or a good guy getting jumped. We have no idea.
yeah. Ore is still out putting out the fires. That's all Ore is doing, making sure all the bodies are put out,
Yeah,
making sure the
Ito
fire doesn't
and
spread.
Alandio, since their players are not here, they will also be doing that for the time being. So,
So sounds like we're starting with the one that was being attacked.
okay.
yeah, the
So,
one that Mizeki thunderwaved.
yep.
I
Well, that was
I
all of
thunder
the
waved
ones, but
all of them. So
and me. Thank you very
and you,
much.
yes, it was an equal opportunity thunder wave.
All
Just
right.
All
happy to
right.
finally use sleep.
I
So,
guess does Valerian or Sadzi want to do the talking?
and do you want to wait until they wake up from the sleep spell naturally, or do you want to, inflict a point of damage to wake him up?
Smack him in the face.
You smack him in the face?
Gently.
Okay.
Can you guys not hear Sadzi?
No.
No, we cannot hear Sadzi.
Okay. Yeah, Sadzi, double check your mic input is right. Because you're lighting up, but you're not audioing.
I thought Sadzi was just being quiet.
Nope. They've tried to talk like 2 or 3 times,
Hmm.
and there's no audio.
Yeah, check Discord
Uh,
settings.
you
Make sure
have
it's
the
using the
cat's
right
approval
audio.
to smack the person, so we can keep
While
on with that.
she's working on the audio, um, as Ore is putting out these fires, what are the races, or what can I tell what the races of the bodies are that were being burned?
They're all dwarven.
Okay, so they're all dwarves. Can I make out the outfits? Does it look like more than like the one guy who was being attacked, or more like the bandits? Is there a way to like? I'm sure the fire has done some significant damage.
Yeah, so the fires have done significant damage, and as an outsider from the dwarfs, you can't even tell the difference between the two dwarfs you have captured.
Gotcha. And
They're
there's
not wearing they're not wearing like different armor or anything like that. They're the same uniform right now.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, they are the same kind of uniform. So
And is there any kind of significant markings or
You're
loot
back.
on any of these bodies as I go?
no. There is nothing on the burned bodies other than the armor that they are wearing, all of which is very badly burned at this point.
And so are they all done individual bodies per fire, or is it like a couple of bodies per fire, just multiple fires?
It is individual bodies per fire, and you can tell that they're spread out enough so that they should never become a giant, massive fire. Here, and so it's more several controlled smaller pyres, and it was definitely done quickly and kind of crudely.
That's
Wait,
terribly inefficient.
isn't
Yes,
this kind of disrespectful? You're just like putting out the funeral pyres, like, nope,
yeah,
forest fire.
yes. What Ore, Ito, and Alandiel are doing could be considered disrespectful.
Valerian's gonna point that out to them. Like, he thought
I
they were just
mean,
walking off to make sure the fires didn't spread. It's pretty, as a paladin, even if he's the god of war, it's pretty messed up to be like, hey, fallen dead, we're gonna put you out.
Well, because we're camped not very far away, Ore's thought is preventing forest fire. Because
yeah,
a
but you
bear, a
can
bear once
maintain.
told him only he can prevent those.
Yeah, well, this is
That's
nicely
true.
pretty much open plain. There are a few trees around, but you would not create a forest fire because this is not a forest area. You are very much in plain land right now.
Right, but plains can have grass, and
Hmm.
grass fields could catch
Yeah.
The bear
wildfire.
didn't say anything about plains fires.
Wildfire,
That's true.
not
Yeah,
necessarily forest fire.
right.
Correct. Wildfire is what I meant to go with.
Or he's like, I don't know what to do. He only talked about the forest.
But I really liked his hat.
And Ore only listens to bears because he's a druid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what made sense.
That's why he would have listened to Seth, because he could turn into a bear.
Yeah.
Once the fires are out, Ore is going to try and determine if he can make out footprints to determine whose footprints or how many individuals were setting the bodies on fire. Just try to map out a little bit of what had happened. But I'm sure that's going to take some time. So
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival check.
that is a 16.
Okay. So looking around and trying to kind of distinguish between the prints that you guys left as you came in and passed by these fires to help the dwarfs, and the footprints that you guys have now made, you're pretty sure that there's just a single set of footprints that looks like it's been going back and forth between the different pyres here, and judging by its size, you would assume that it is dwarf, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay.
All right, so Valerian, you slap the guy.
Wake up.
All right. He comes to consciousness. This sees that he's tied, begins to struggle, and he's like, "Huh? Why? I... You helped me, but now you've got me tied to this tree."
Well, there was a lot of violence and fire going on. We'd rather figure out which parts of the violence and which parts of the fire are appropriate.
This is for your own safety.
You are being rescued. Do not resist.
Um, could we loosen up these ropes a bit?
A bit. Tell us, what happened here?
Uh, well, let's see here. I was part of a group of other dwarfs who were leaving the sanctuary of the Hand of the God Mountains in search for some assistance. We were pursued by another group of dwarfs. A fight broke out, and our side lost. I barely survived, hanging on for my life for a couple days.
Who are these groups? You're being awfully daft right now.
Another group of dwarves.
To what loyalty do these groups belong? Why would another group of your own people attack you?
Money, religious differences, cultural differences, land claims.
He looks you up and down for a moment. Are you trying to intimidate or are you trying to persuade?
I think
Well,
he's
it's
just sort of
Valerian.
yelling
He's
at
just
him.
he's just yelling in his general direction as he's wont to do. He's not really trying to persuade or intimidate. But if
Okay.
you want me to choose one, it would probably be persuasion right now.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Go. 20. Not natural.
Okay. So you see his demeanor shift a bit as you ask this, and he can tell that you're sincere in why you want to know what is going on. And he takes in a deep breath and then lets it out slowly. And then he goes, "Well, let's start. A few weeks ago.
It all began when
A,
I was a boy.
a couple months, I guess, is more likely at this point. Firstly, my name is Gwenlil Darkguard, and I am a follower of Brudak Battlebelt, God of the Forge.
I'm certainly glad that Elandiel is taking these notes down, historian. That's not in character.
Who's he the follower of her again?
Brudek Battlebelt, God of the Forge. For a very long time, the God of the Forge was the main deity, and our weapons and armors the main export from the hand of the God Mountains. Our dwarven steel can make the toughest armors the sharpest blades, and help any who need it. Somewhat recently, there has been a shift in the pantheon. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but there's a vacuum of power currently going on, and the gods are fighting over it. And that fight has carried down to us. The followers of Borer Greymantle, god of stonework, think that our craftsmanship should lie in our buildings. And that should be our export, that we should send our dwarfs out frequently from the hand of the God Mountains and help others build great structures to show them the power and divinity of Borer.
You said that was the followers of Borer. Is that second group?
Yeah, Borer Greymantle,
Greymantle. Gotcha.
god of stoneworking.
So this is a religious dispute.
It's more than that, as whichever comes out on top will become our primary export, the way that we earn money and provide for our families. Although I follow the god of the forge, Brudak Battlebelt, understand that we can diversify and do more than just one thing and be known for more than just one thing, especially as a group of people all living together under the mountain. So I gathered a group of my friends, and we decided that we were going to leave and seek help elsewhere to help put an end to the fighting. But we were followed and attacked by the others.
I know not about anything you just said, nor do I much care. But why would they attack you when this is a trade or religious or whatever dispute?
They want to make sure that they win by any means necessary. Us going out for outside help, they saw as a threat and a betrayal to our people.
So they feel like it's unfair that in your larger conflict, your group sought out help beyond the dwarves.
Indeed.
So they started stabbing you.
The fight's been raging on for several months between the groups. There have been many casualties. I was laying my friends to rest, knowing that I didn't have much time and knowing that I would attract attention, but hoping they had already returned to the mountains.
I'm gonna send a message to Ore real quick
Okay.
and just let him know, hey, it looks like these people were killed in a religious conflict. You should make sure that the bodies get burned.
You say this as Ore's got his shield like patting down one of the bodies and just got the
Yeah,
fire out.
he's just gonna message that to him.
So Ore's going to kind of stand up, look straight up in your direction, and use thaumaturgy to make my eyes glow really bright for a moment, and then just kind of hang my head low and
Use
start
laser
trying to
vision.
light the fire back up again with just I have no magic to light fires at the moment.
Do you have Druidcraft?
Not right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I got rid of on the last level up. I got rid of control flames, so I'm going to do it manually. Restart these fires
you're a
and make a
terrible
good.
druid.
Yeah, terrible druid at the moment.
Terrible
Alright.
druids. He continues and he goes, "This was probably also an insult to them, as our two beliefs have differences on how our dead should be disposed. We believe that they should be burned as if being entered into the forge, whereas the others believe that they should be buried in the stone. I'm sure that me performing my rites exacerbated this more than it should have. When your group came upon me after they had surrounded and begun attacking, I was certain that you were there to help them and that that was where they had disappeared to for the last couple of days. And so I put down my weapon as you approached, surrendering myself to death. But then you surprised me and fought against them, and I thought I would be saved. But it looks like you're still making up your mind.
I mean, we haven't particularly decided anything. There's just a bunch of people stabbing each other. There's fire and whatnot near our camp while we're traveling towards the mountains. And so, as law abiding traveling citizens, we come over and make sure that things can be sorted out properly.
Yes,
Most
indeed.
mostly we saw the fighting and then we saw the fires and wanted to make sure that neither would be troublesome to our companions while traveling.
There have been many strange things going on, particularly in this area as of late.
There have indeed been many strange things happening. I don't know that this area is the only place that it is happening.
It would be a nice dream to keep hold of, but probably not.
What do you mean? There's some. This is not isolated. There's some greater conflict happening under the mountain.
He just went over that.
Yeah,
They've been fighting for months.
Valerian didn't really realize the scale though. He thought it was just little skirmishes, but now it sounds like it's like a
Yeah.
all-out
It
war.
sounds like the entire cultural group has divided itself along religious lines and is at war. This would likely qualify as a civil war.
Valerian shakes his head in disgust. He doesn't like that they're fighting against each other.
So maybe let's go talk to your friend over there. See how that goes.
he's
Get
not my friend.
well, fair enough. I will give him my water skin if he wants.
As we
Do you just give him a drink? Because you've got him tied up to
Yeah.
where he can't really use
Yeah,
his
I'm gonna
arms.
offer him a drink of the water skin because he's in an
Mizeki
area.
just throws him the water skin. Here you
Just
go.
here. Good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah, he will graciously accept a drink and thank you.
Cool. And let's go check out the other guy. Hopefully, the other dude is super angry and racist and stuff, and this makes it really easy.
So when as we're going over there, Valerian will comment to Mizeki and Sazi or whoever is coming over with us, loud enough to be overheard by the first dwarf that he already has a poor opinion of the second dwarf because it's not an honorable thing to jump someone. It was what 6-1 or something like that, and
I
then
think
try
so.
and just murder him straight up. Like he's not having a
And
good time
fail.
and fail. Well, we
Like he's probably
intervene.
disappointed about that too. Like, wow.
Yeah, and so when we go to the second one, Valerian is going to smack him very hard, enough to do 1 point of damage and wake him up and do the same thing. Wake up!
All right. He'll already be awake by this point because the sleep spell only lasts a minute, I believe. So,
Oh, Valerian didn't notice that and slapped him anyways. What a shame.
all right. So, as you slap him, he'll just kind of take it and then look at you, spit out a bit of blood.
Where did he get that?
It was 1 point of damage.
He's
I'm trying to knock his teeth out.
he is still very, very injured from the fight.
Okay, fair.
All right.
So we're treating like hit points as like actually you die.
Yeah.
Okay. I usually treat them differently in my head.
So, all right.
So you just smacked this dude, a heavily injured person. That's a war crime. But thankfully we're not at war.
Well, yeah, I was thinking something different as well.
All right.
So he's not trying to commit a war crime. He's just trying to
Yeah.
rudely awaken this man.
And he just kind of looks at you and he goes, I don't know why you helped him, but can you tell your friends thank you for putting out the fires? The bodies should be disposed of properly.
Oh no. He says this and Aura is just lighting them up again. Oh, that's gonna be
Well,
quite
keep
a
in mind he's
controversy.
the other religious faction. So
Yeah.
And they're not his bodies, right?
They're
Like the guy
dwarfs.
said.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah, but
we
well,
would
he
assume,
claims them culturally, but like they were from
yeah,
the other guy's group,
yeah, we would assume they're from the other guy's group. I mean, there's only one of that guy left, and from the other guy's story. Now, of
and
course,
he
this
said
one's
he
probably going to try
was.
and spin lies.
Yeah, he
Oh
was
yeah,
attempting to light them up before
can
they
we
fled.
insight that last dude, just the like overall how we feel about his story before we start getting into interrogating this next guy?
Sure.
10. I got a 10.
I got a natural one.
All right. And
Basically, we feel
Sadzi,
how we feel right now.
did you want to also make an insight check since you were also part of the interrogation?
Oh, and you have a
Sure.
wisdom score.
Hooray, the wise one.
Wait, do neither of you have wisdom?
So
Hey!
I got 15.
Okay.
Nice.
I do actually
Uh,
have a +2
I
wisdom. I
have
just
a
rolled really bad.
flat 0.
All right. So Valerian, uh, you don't know Dwarven mannerisms at all, so you have no idea whether he was telling you lies or truth or, you know, just talking you in circles, hoping that you would buy whatever he was selling.
Well, Valerian's own personal bias remains. That guy got jumped, so he's more likely to believe him, and that one reinforces it.
Right. And Miseki, you are definitely as well just having a hard time reading him. However, Sadzi, you believe his story, but understand that there were definitely parts he was skipping and not telling Lean, and you believe it's just because of cultural differences and things that you wouldn't understand, not being from the mountains.
I mean, this is a religious war, so it's always going to be things we
Okay,
don't
so I'm
understand.
slightly suspicious of him, but inclined to believe him on the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably excluded things that wouldn't make sense to us without additional context, basically.
All right. So, this guy, you have slapped him. He spit out blood and then asked you to thank your friends for putting out the fires so the bodies could be disposed of properly.
So, why were 6 of you attacking him? Failing, mind you.
Have you no honor?
That question.
We were handling important security matters for our people.
And who, pray tell, might your people be? What are they called? What is your name?
The dwarves who live under the hand of the god mountains. He is a threat to all of our way of lives and to the secrets those under the mountain keep from the surface dwellers.
Okay. And that allows you to stab them.
We take our security very seriously, as I'm sure you do as well. If someone was threatening your very safety, you would do the same, as demonstrated by you stepping in and helping someone you didn't even know because you thought that they were in danger. I can tell that you have a high sense of honor, and that is to be commended and respected. But you are meddling in affairs that you do not understand.
If this were to happen in Nutra, we would crush it before, well, as a sapling before it could sprout into open discord. Valerian just spits at the man. Not at him, like on him, just like in his direction.
That is exactly what we are doing. We are quelling this before it can spread.
Interfering in things beyond our understanding is sort of our job.
That is an unusual job.
It
We're very good
certainly
at
is.
it.
We are. So far, at least. So, can you explain why we should help you prevent what appears to be a rightful burial of these people and allow you to murder that man.
The rightful burial of all dwarfs is to be returned to the stone in which we came from, where we will then, over time, become one with the stone, so that we can, once again, become dwarfs made from the stone.
However, if it was these people's belief that they should be turned to ash to rejoin the earth, should we not honor that belief?
That is a false belief. We did not come from the ashes.
According to which god?
According to all of the divines, we were born of stone.
Can I roll religion on that? Do I even know?
Yeah, go ahead and make a religion check.
It was a 16 and then it fell over and now it's a 10.
13.
Okay.
I hate these dice. Change them
So
again.
you aren't super familiar with various different religions. You know that there are several different divines, and that each of the individual races have divines, and some may call them by different names within different races. But as far as knowledge of the dwarfs, horse, you don't know much about their religions. And with the 13, the same really goes for you, Sadzi. You would know a bit more and know that the two main dwarven gods are the two that you heard about from the other. So Borer, Greymantle, El, the god of stonework, and Brudak, Battlebelt, the god of the forge. They are both dwarfs.
Can our historian cleric roll? He got a 23.
The historian cleric got a 23.
Yeah, he rolled a 19.
He's off dealing with bodies, though.
We'll ask him about
Dang
it
it.
later.
So
Can we drag him back?
We'll ask him about it later. And he'll explain to be like, oh, you made the wrong choice.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I don't like playing when players are down, because it's just like it could be crucial information that you know, and I'm all like, if I share it as the DM as that character, would that character actually have done it? So it's just like
I feel like at a high level, we recognize that those are both recognized gods of the dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know either way, like if one of them is wrong or right, or one of them is like evil or whatever in their cultural context.
Correct.
I feel like Mazeki's solution here is to leave these two men tied up to these trees and leave.
That is a solution.
Like, we do not know the right answer. I guess the real answer would be which one of them is willing to offer us more to help them.
Valerian wants to get down to like deeper into their goals.
Yeah,
What are,
and
what
I
are
don't mean
both
like
sides
money.
trying to accomplish? Who is their chain of command type stuff? But we
I'm
have
not looking
no
for
clue
like
because we
bribes,
just
but
like
like
yeah, walked up on these guys just trying to kill each other in the middle of the wilderness.
I mean, are we going to end up accidentally helping a dwarvish cult? Who knows? Is that the end of the world? At this point, probably not.
I mean, if only you had a dwarf in your party who might know these things.
Oh, if only.
If only.
Where is that dwarf? You know, that was in our party.
I guess.
What
I
a
assume
shame,
he's
isn't
dead.
it, Valerian?
I assume he's dead.
Valerian knows nothing
Killed in
about
the
this
Civil
dwarf.
War.
Right.
So, I mean, we don't have an answer, so let's flip a coin.
I mean, we can still ask him more questions. They're still
can.
tied up.
Go for it.
Ore, are you back? Are you still out with the body?
I would.
He's
I would assume
relighting
by
bodies.
Yeah, I was relighting, like I had spent probably 10 minutes putting bodies out, and then shaked my head and
Ore.
started spending 10 minutes lighting
I
bodies
I
back
will
up.
point out to Ore with message that I can do that with magic if he wants to come over and help us out real quick. As
Uh,
long as there's some fire, I can ignite it with prestidigitation.
oh, sure. There's probably coals on each of the bodies that I even put out.
Yeah.
I would imagine he was rushing between bodies,
You're just right.
getting the flames out. Well, no, using the shield and like flipping dirt on
patting
them,
them. But then you were
patting
like,
them
"Oh
out.
no, I
Yeah,
gotta start the fire."
just grabbing the body and rolling it like it's supposed to. Just put the
Jeez,
fire out, smothering
you're
it.
committing so many sins.
So many violations. But honestly, like I don't have proficiency in religion, and Ore really doesn't understand some of those burial practices. So yeah, like in his head, he was just preventing wildfire. So yeah, if you message me, I'd stand up and come walk over to you.
Yeah, he'll let
As
him.
as Ori comes over and Mizeki is still in earshot, Valerian will turn to everybody and say, "Did you not have a dwarf in your party?
We did.
Which side would he take?"
We didn't really talk about deep religious choices often.
What information were you able to glean from your interrogations? I'm sorry, I don't have enough context to be able to
All right, we're gonna
interpret what
walk away
Stefan would have
from this dude
decided.
a little bit, like kind of in the middle, and discuss. We'll catch Ori up on what we know. Basically, high level. There's a religious civil war occurring effectively that is both cultural and religious between the dwarves. Uh, one group believes that they should be using their skills and going out and collecting help, and the other group believes that they should keep their secrets. Feel free to correct me at any point here, anyone.
So as you're relaying this back to Ore instantly would have asked, for the bodies that I reignited, are they the ones who would have believed this was their choice to be burned?
Pretty sure, yes. We're pretty sure these are people that were part of the group of the man that was being attacked.
Can we just go ask the other guy that? Like,
We
"Hey, are
should
these all your
confirm.
homies?"
Hey, we'll pop
Yeah,
over. Hey, are these your buddies?
yeah. Ore would be real. Once he found out that was an issue, he certainly would have been trying to confirm what that each individual that was being burned, what their choice would have been, what side of the two groups they were on.
Excuse me, sir. Are these your bodies?
Mr. DM, can we ask the other dwarf that question?
Yeah, so you're going back to talk to Gwenliel?
Ash dwarf. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen Leal, that's his name. Dark Guard, right?
Gwenliel, yes. Gwenliel
Gwen Leal, Dark
Darkguard.
Guard. Gotcha.
Mhm.
The Ash dwarf. He's the Forge guy, yeah.
Yes, so he is a follower of Brudak Battlebelt, god of the Forge, and yes, these are his people, he confirms.
Cool. He may be lying, but I mean, at this point, we're just kind of going by.
Just
It
doing the
makes
best
sense.
Just doing the best we can.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He was interrupted while burning them,
Can we
and the
amend
other
our
guy is
party
upset.
name to almost a competent party?
I mean, the party name is
That part
nothing
is
right
implied.
now. If you want to amend the show, I mean, I guess we can do that.
I
Episode
I feel
15,
like
almost a competent party.
we should just be called the Silhouette of Competence.
We could just be called almost competent.
I like
just-
Silhouette. That was a good one. Silhouette of Competence.
I'm just
If you
kidding.
squint, it's there.
It's close. It's close. Yeah.
So
if
Our
this guy
deeds are
confirmed
good
they
if
were
you
his
don't look that
followers,
closely.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
there's a little gray on the
I'm
side that
neutral.
we're on.
I just want to make that clear.
As am I.
So we're keeping a balance. Good
Neutral
decisions,
good.
bad
Neutral good.
decisions.
Yeah.
No decisions.
So
No
with
decision.
Glenn Leal's confirmation that these were his people that he was traveling with, Ore feels confident they're okay to burn. Uh, he also would have walked over to the other dwarf. Did we get his name?
Nope, no one asked and he did not offer it.
Gotcha. I will.
We just hit him. That's
Ore would.
No,
Ore would go
Valerian did
over.
ask. He just
Ore
hasn't
would go
answered
over
yet.
to the other guy and ask if any of the bodies that are burning were his followers or just the ones that were seeking outside assistance.
Um, if you asked his name, I did not hear you ask. I heard you ask him what's going on, but I never heard
Yeah,
anybody ask for his name.
he asked them both at the same time. It was multiple questions in one, so that was probably the problem. But he
Oh,
said like, "What's your name? Who? What's going on?"
oh, yeah, I missed the what's your name. So
He just yelled a bunch of things, to be fair.
yeah,
Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing?
so so you go over and you ask his name.
Yeah, I would ask his name and then try and get confirmation if any of the bodies burning
All
were
right.
his followers or just the ones that they killed.
So he introduces himself as Torig Kamnak, and he thanks you in person for putting out the fires, because all dwarfs should be buried in stone where they initially came from.
I appreciate your religious disposition for it. However, were all of the bodies burning your associates, or were they the ones that you had gone after?
All dwarfs are my people.
I appreciate the love and appreciation of your fellow dwarves. However, were these the ones that you had killed, you and your party had killed?
They were a danger to us. Yes.
All of them?
Were,
Yes.
how did you perceive that they were a danger? Exactly. They had a differing ideology and were leaving, as we understood,
They
the
were
confines of your group.
leaving to share our secrets of the mountain with those who cannot understand, bringing danger to all of us by doing so. When it comes down to it, the lives of all of us are more important than the lives of the few who betray us.
That is
Yeah,
one view of it. My
yeah, we don't.
personal belief is that you choosing to take away their choice for your belief is a betrayal to them. And then I look over at the pile of bodies that we wiped out of his group that are still lying on the ground. But per their belief, and I kind of nod towards them, you would prefer them to be buried. Yes?
All dwarfs should be buried in stone. Yes.
You speak for your group. He speaks for his group. You would have your group buried in stone, yes?
Yes.
It shall be done.
Was there
Valerian is
even any stone around here? Like,
a little miffed.
There's not a lot of stone around here for them to be
yeah,
buried in.
we're in
You'll need
the
to
middle
take
of
them back to the
grassland.
mountain.
Yeah. I mean, we can. Valerian has a very good dragging weight,
Mhm.
as does Ito.
I,
So
I
we can
feel
Yes.
take them if
like
we have to.
But there's
I
all that
f-
half-cooked meat.
that's terrifying.
Disgusting.
I feel like our caravan will not be huge
I said
fans
that
of
out
us
loud.
carrying a bunch of dwarf bodies with us.
You could always just not return to the caravan.
Oh yeah, that caravan
That would
thing.
be dereliction of duty. Valerian would never do that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Valerian had to go and get himself hired.
He got us hired. We're supposed to get paid.
You did
Wait,
get
yeah,
paid.
there's money involved, but there's more money involved. I think. I don't remember. Isn't it like half now, half later type thing?
You never
Yeah.
got confirmation on that. All you got was a bag of coins, which no one ever checked. And you were told to go out and make sure there was nothing in the immediate area that was a threat to the camp.
Sweet.
Okay.
Ugh.
We're going to have to
One,
settle up when we get back to camp.
Valerian, I don't think you should be the manager anymore. Second, do we have some sort of cart or bag or something that we can put the bodies
We are
of?
not putting them in the bag of holding.
Oh, come on. You
Not
can
in one
clean it.
piece, at least. They're not going to fit through the opening.
They won't fit.
We
First off,
Not
we
at
can make
first.
We can make like, well, is there any building materials around? Because we can make a sled to
There
bring them
are
on
a few
respectfully.
trees and things that you could, chop down and turn into wood, but like there's not building materials around for that kind of construction.
Yeah.
You'd have to take the time to make it yourself with what
And at that
tools you
point,
have.
we should just go ask the caravan like how they feel about we're heading that way anyway. Is it okay if we bring some?
Hmm.
But like that would be us deciding to help this guy.
This
Uh-huh.
problem would have been solved if they just didn't try and murder their associate here and get into a big old battle and use their words like adults.
I assume they
Oh,
did use their words, and their words got them into a religious civil war.
Toreg's going to step away from us as a group as we're discussing this, go back over to Toreg and say, would your compatriots be satisfied with burial where they are?
No, they should be buried in stone, not in the dirt.
Understood. And then I'm going to walk away from him back to the group, kind of removed from both druids, not druids, from both
Dwarfs.
dwarves. Yeah, both of them, and propose perhaps we should release him. And I point over towards Gwenlil
Hmm.
and allow him to leave on his own merit and depart this area when he is the
Valerian,
safest. When
Valerian's
he's the
going to shake his
safest
head for
away,
now. I
then we
think we
should
have to
release.
have. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's fine. And as you shake your head, and then when we're satisfied that he has made some distance, we can release Toreg. Toreg to return to his people to gather up those that would be able to come help retrieve these bodies, separating them, allowing them to choose for themselves, preventing Toreg from just killing Gwenlil over his beliefs.
Other
That
way
is
around, I
implicitly
think.
helping.
Why not send Torag back to the mountains to get more people to come gather up the bodies that need to be buried? And in the meantime, we can make sure that those who wish to be burned are burned.
What
Well,
do we?
politically, we're implicitly helping Gwenlil, and we're about to try and get passage through the King of the Mountain. So Valerian's going to point this out. I mean, he's not dumb.
Yeah,
We have to
let's.
figure out what's going on here, and
Which group is dominant at least?
he's actually going to be in favor of bringing them both back under the mountain.
But
Well,
Gwenlil did not wish to return to the mountain. He was leaving for his own purposes. It should be his choice. Allowing him to go free first gives him a further chance to not be hunted by Toreg.
Did we explicitly ask him if he would still want to flee the mountain at this time, or did we
We
just ask
haven't
him
yet.
what he was doing?
You asked
Yeah,
him
we
what
asked him
he
what he
was
was doing.
doing.
Yeah, let's. Can we? I'm gonna go ask him real quick. Like, is he okay with going back to the mountain?
And we can
And if
take him to his
not,
faction. Like, we can take them
yeah,
both to their faction to the mountain, but we got to figure out what's going on before we just let some dude loose who's trying to maybe bring down the government or something.
fair.
not like
I'm
we've ever done that.
I'm just thinking that if we have to haul back a bunch of bodies, that's not going to put us in very high regard with the caravan.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe the caravan is familiar with dwarven customs, and this is just a thing you do. We don't know. We should ask.
You
Yeah.
do have a dwarven guard
Yeah,
in the
we
caravan.
should.
Yeah.
We should go. We should
Although,
go get him.
I would also like to point out that you've already made the mistake of assuming he was a mountain dwarf, and he got really
he's a-
offended by that.
Yeah, he's a hill dwarf.
So,
I remember that.
So, do you guys have any? Valerian's going to ask if you guys have any contact with dwarves, because he doesn't know very much about them, but knows that you had a dwarf in your party. Are there
No,
any dwarves that you can contact?
no. I mean, wait. Or any of the council could maybe. Can we reach through the council to ask?
you could attempt to
We
reach
should
through the
send a
counselor
message to Samza.
to reach to Counselor Coppercloak, who
That seems
you
like that would be
know.
the safest thing to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that might be wisest.
Because, like, as far as we believe, Councillor Cobblercook is in charge of their government.
Yes.
It's not true, but we don't know that.
But we would have to relay this through Zamza.
Who is supposed to be in hiding.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
and it's is purposely not responding to messages because,
Shit.
he's supposed to be in
We're,
hiding.
we're so
You've,
bad at this.
you've sent him into
Send him,
hiding.
send him an urgent message.
Come out of hiding.
Thumbs up.
We have a
Urgent.
moral question. We're
Which
not,
dwarf
we
good?
can't. Yeah, which dwarf is good? Are the Bernie dwarves or the Berry dwarves good?
You just send him that.
Oh my
He's so
gosh.
confused.
He's like, what's going on? All right. I feel like we've got a moral quandary. We don't know the answer. I feel like the best solution right now is check with the caravan, see if they would be willing to help bring the bodies back. Because if they're not, that makes our answer easier.
I think the easiest thing is to ask Gwenlil if we release him, if he will just continue on his quest and not return to the mountain,
Well, I
if
wouldn't.
that's his choice.
How
I
far
would
away
not
are we?
ask him that. I would ask him, would you want to return to the mountain?
How far are we away from the caravan?
From the caravan, you're about
Yeah.
half an hour at this point.
I'm gonna go over and like talk to them about this.
What about on horse hoofs? Yeah, centaur hoofs.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pop over there and chat with them, I guess, and I'll take one of the stones. So we can, if anything major pops up while I'm doing it, and I'll run back and I guess because the core question we need answered from them is would they be willing to help us bring these bodies back to the mountain? Because if the answer to that is no, it makes our questions much easier.
Okay.
Sucks to be you guys who failed to kill one dude. Sorry. Like,
All right. So Mizeki is heading back to camp while the rest of you stay and guard the current dwarfs that you have tied up.
Yeah, I think there's probably some questions we want to ask them, and I don't know if you want us to do that like on scene or just handle it while Mizeki's galloping towards the caravan. But
I mean, the question is, do you want to wait for Mizeki to get back? Because it sounds like Mizeki is going to get information that will help assist you in your questions.
yeah, Mizeki's answering a logistical question of can we bring the bodies back under the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
But Valerian still wants to get more to like, okay, we know why they're fighting, but why did Torag's group jump Gilil's group? What's the deal there? Like, that no one's answered who their allegiance is inside of their respective civil and religious groups, and so he
well,
wants to get more into that.
okay. I mean, we do know that they're respectively the stone and the forge gods.
Yeah,
And the reason the stone gods are killing them because they believe that the forge god guys are going to share the secrets. But we can definitely get more context.
yeah. I think in
And
character, this is the weird part for me as a character, as a player, because like obviously Seth knows a lot, but Valerian knows nothing about dwarves,
yeah,
and so I'm trying not to overplay on his part. But it's like, what is really going on? There's more to it than like, because every culture in this world has multiple gods in the pantheon, and it's not like our whole party has different gods they worship, and we're not trying to
yeah,
kill each other because of that. That's what he's trying to get to.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's where Ori's coming from as well. It's like they're allowed to have separate beliefs. Ori
Apparently
doesn't.
not.
Ori's not a big fan of one belief killing another for that belief. He hates that. So,
Yeah, I will
like
keep the
in
message rock on me in case anything critical comes up from them,
gotcha.
and I can send back the immediate answer relevant to the can we bring the bodies when I get there.
Okay.
So
So Mizeki is leaving Veen while the rest of you continue questioning. Who would you like to
Yeah.
question?
Well, first, Valerian wants to have a little powwow with everybody. So if everyone will gather over just out of earshot from the two dwarves, he wants to get a plan together. So he knows the spell command, and he's going to ask, what spells others have that may help, but just ways that we can decipher kind of like what their truthful answers are. Because here's what he's thinking: he could ask them a question and then cast command, and then they have to give an answer type thing, but he only wants to resort to that if they're not being cooperative, which they both kind of are. It's kind of like this social deduction game of who's lying and who's not.
Ori's got that spell as well.
command's only one word though.
You say truth.
You can ask them a question and then tell them answer, but there is a problem because it's not like
Yeah, there's no
other spells.
guarantee that
Yeah,
they'll.
there's no guarantee that they'll tell you the
They
truth.
all you can do is like answer, and they'll like, "Fuck you."
You could shout truth. I mean, that's up for interpretation,
That's up to
obviously.
the
But
DM. He's like, "Squares are a part of rectangles." Fair, that is a truth.
All squares are
right,
rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Godspeed. I'm gonna run like the wind.
Ito and Alondiel will accompany you in case you run into danger.
Awesome.
And, it gets them out of the story for now since they're
Yeah,
not
it
here.
keeps them out of the way.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything as useful as far as the compelling goes, I don't think.
I mean, I can cast guidance if we're looking to do persuasion or intimidation.
Yeah. I think we probably have to go with that. Just old school. Old school rolls of the dice
Old rollies.
Those go so great for us all the time. No
all the
problems.
time.
Just ask the Knolls.
All right. So what kind of things do we want to ask them? You guys know of the counselor, right? So it'd probably be good to know which side the counselor is siding with. Copper Cloak.
But you don't have a
Yeah.
direct way to contact them.
But we can
Well,
ask these people.
yeah,
and
we
then
could just
decipher.
ask them who's their counselor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We could go to Gwynleal and ask him who he was looking to try and find to assist, and,
Yeah.
ask if he trusts Coppercloak,
Or who he trusts, exactly.
or who he trusts, like where he was going for assistance. I still like he was going to go get help. He wasn't trying to wipe out the other guys
Yeah.
initially. That's why I'm kind of on the favor of letting him go first and
Yeah.
letting him get some distance. If he's just willing to go leave and try and rally for support under his cause,
I don't think we can
whereas
let him
Toreg just
go
flat out killing him for his belief. So
until we just determine, even if it's the wrong determination, like maybe the party's way off. But Valerian doesn't feel we can let either of these people go until we figure out what's going on, because it's like, I mean, if they do have a religious internal war going on, then yeah, they're both going to want to send out riders to go try and get help from other nations and other areas, right? So
right,
just the fact that he's trying to do that doesn't mean that he's good necessarily. But Valerian does more agree with you as well, because again, he was clearly on the defensive. He was outnumbered. It seemed like a situation where they could have just tried to overpower him, and and Torg's group was clearly trying to kill him instead of just trying to take him in, type thing. And we can also see that evidence from all the rest of Gwynneal's group is dead. But Valerian still wants to get to the bottom of like who's your leader and that sort of stuff, because what he does want to have happen is we let Gwynneal go, and then it's like, haha, surprise, actually, he's the servant of a evil, ancient cult or something, and now we let him go, and then we walk into the under the mountain, and they're like, you idiots.
right. Oh, Ore's kind of the same mind, but there was a guy going for help, and then there was a guy chasing him and killing him for his beliefs. So Ore's view is pretty focused, regardless of the semantics of what they may have wanted to do. That's Ore's just general disposition on this one.
Well, we may not be able to. Well, politically, it may be unwise to let Gwenleo go, but that doesn't mean he couldn't quote unquote escape one night
Yeah.
or at a stop. Oh
let's
no, he
go
has slipped his bonds.
let's go ask him questions
Agreed.
about his leadership and what he was trying to do and all that. Let's ask what he was trying to do first for Ore's question, just so we can decipher how forthcoming he's going to be with us and all that.
Okay, so you're going to
Sure.
talk to Gwynleal first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave someone to go stand guard with Toreg, and then we'll send a couple to go talk to Gwynleal. So who wants to talk to Gwynleal and who wants to stand guard?
I mean, you
Where do you
haven't
want the
loosened the
Dwarven
bindings
speaker?
of Tortig at all, so
Yeah, but who knows what dwarven magics he might have.
Well, Ore's. I'll keep an eye on him from the questioning of Gwenlil. I'll kind of keep my attention on if Toreg's getting free.
Okay, we can
Oh
all go. I
wait,
mean, they're only like 30 feet away, and we're both. I think we're. Well, I know Valerian's faster, so if he starts running away, Valerian can catch up easy.
I have alarm.
Oh, cool.
So, I can choose an area within range that is no larger than a 20-foot cube. Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. So, I mean,
You can put it
it.
around
I
them.
don't know how flexible it is with area, but if we could just do like a little box around his tree, that would work.
Yeah, if he
It
crosses the
triggers when
line.
someone enters it, right? If you
Yes.
put it
Yes.
around him, he's already in it.
So
I'm
what you
talking
have
like
to do
a
is
toroid. Like,
what you
basically put a
can't.
donut around the tree.
Yeah.
You'd have to cast it several times.
Yeah.
Sadzi would be putting it around the rest of the world from the tree.
Yeah,
So if
which
he's
would
leaving
take
the tree, he's entering
44
into the
minutes.
actual square.
Yeah, it would take 44 minutes because you'd have to cast it 4 times, and if you wanted to use ritual each time, assuming you can ritual cast, which I don't think you can do.
It's only a 1 minute cast, but I understand.
It's okay. We can just watch him if it's not
Keep
going
an
to work
eye
that way.
on him. If he decides to run, I mean, we've got speed and range, and he doesn't have weapons at the moment.
I think it was a cool idea though. Yeah, Valerian will just take his weapons from like all the weapons from around him, and then we'll go over talk to Gwynleo.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a cool idea. It's just unfortunate how that spell works, where it's when someone enters, not when they leave. It would be cool if it did both, because you could use it as an escape alarm.
I
Well,
just wanted
it
to
would
make
make
it into a
sense that if
cage.
someone, it should be worded that they cross the wire sets off the alarm, whether enter or exit.
It's for securing a room, not preventing someone from passing through an area.
Right.
Right, not
Right.
preventing, but it lets them know if someone's crossing
Yeah.
the line. So
So
Yeah,
you would
it's all right.
cast it 4 times around them is effectively what you would do here.
It
But-
says touches or enters, so
But he's already in it is the issue. Yeah.
yeah, I just can't.
Just put one in front of him and assume he runs forward.
That was about all I could think of, really.
All right, let's question Gwynleo.
Okay.
Do you want us to roll some persuasion checks? We're gonna ask him where he was going, like what his mission was.
I will
What kind of
cast
aid?
guidance on whoever asks. I have no charisma, so I'm probably not the best person to ask those questions.
Okay.
So we're doing perception or charisma or persuasion. Sorry. Blech.
Persuasion, yeah.
I'd say persuasion.
Okay, I have a +4 for persuasion and a +5 for perception. So you decide if you want me to listen or to talk.
How about you listen and insight him, and I can persuade him. I have a higher persuasion.
Go for it.
Okay.
All right, 17 plus the guidance, 19 to persuade Gwynleo to tell us. He's already told us he was going to get aid. Like, from whom is he trying to get aid, and what type of aid?
Okay. So as you come back to talk to him, he goes and he goes, I was going to find outside assistance from someone that could help put a stop to this war. We don't need to be fighting it. We can return to peace.
Yes, but where?
Insight
What was
check.
your destination?
I didn't
And then
have
yell
a
upon him.
specific destination. I was leaving and heading towards, I guess the next closest town is Mint. And I was going to beseech whoever I could find for assistance.
And Ori and Sadzi wanted to insight. Wow, that's a great insight.
Yeah.
That was perception on accident. But
Well,
still a
I got
19.
insight 16. If you'd rather me try perception, I got 24 on that. So it's up to you. Which one is more useful?
So insight
My
is
insight
reading
was
people.
14.
Perception is just kind of watching Jane in the area,
Oh,
listening
okay.
for things. It doesn't help you identify whether they're telling the truth or not. So with your 16 insight, he seems sincere that he's just trying to get some help to end the war.
Who are the leaders of your faction?
The leaders of my faction, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but our high priest is Cramnar Redhammer. He is a grey dwarf.
You let me rephrase. You have a counselor, do you not?
Yeah, we have a counselor that we send um, to meet with all the other counselors during the King's End Festival at the end of the year. Counselor Durdruhilda Coppercloak is our current counselor, and she's doing an excellent job.
Great, this isn't a quiz. We're not in grade school. What side of the conflict does she take?
The counselor takes an oath of neutrality in all conflicts like this.
He's gonna
Shit.
face palm. It's like
Oh no.
surely she has some inkling.
She
Yeah,
wants
it's
peace like I do, but she is not on either of the opposing sides.
She worships neither of those gods.
It is not just about the gods. Did you
if there is
not understand me before?
if there is a civil war or a religious war, how can the leader of your nation stay neutral? This makes no sense. This is their election of duty. Is not your
Valerian.
very nation in danger?
Our entire peoples are, and she is trying to put an end to the war, but she is not taking a side.
So you are not intending to wipe out the other faction. You want fighting to stop completely, so no dwarves die.
I don't want anybody to die. Except
I'm gonna
that guy who
insight
tried to
check
kill
that, but
me.
I agree with that. So I rolled a 19 for my insight check on that statement.
Yeah, I mean
Nice.
he seems honest, and I mean even at the end of it he admitted that he wants to kill Torek because Torek tried to kill him. But
If
So you do want someone to die.
yeah,
with
I
the
mean he did at the
Liar.
end of that, as Ori was saying, he wanted to do his insights to be like, except that guy because he tried to kill me. So
True.
That's self-preservation.
if we were to release you, would you swear to continue on your quest without retaliation against Toreg to find assistance in ending this war?
It does sound like we could be that assistance.
Well,
like
yes, but he could also go get assistance, and then we could not have him with us when we show up and start also kind of promoting the same thinking.
he goes, I will continue looking for help, but you must guarantee that Torek cannot follow, because he will.
Valerian's gonna hold up his hand, still very militaristic. Like, let's wait for a second, and excuse himself from talking with Gwynil. That doesn't mean that anyone has to follow his hand signal. That's what he
Or
does.
Ore follows you.
And then we're gonna go over to Toreg and try a little different slant and see what Toreg is all about. But Valerian is increasingly of the same mind as Ore, where it's like you've got one side who clearly was accosted by the other. There's great loss. They, he's trying to put an end to the war. He's trying to leave and go seek aid, and it seems like Toreg's side is definitely the aggressor and honorless. So triple whammy. Um, Sadzi, did you have anything that you wanted to ask Gwyn Leal before we go talk to Toreg real quick?
No. I mean, as far as I can tell, apparently, I seem to think he's being sincere, and I get the feeling that he really just wants to get away from the other dwarves and especially the other one that's trying to kill him.
Yeah. All right, let's go back over to Toreg, and ask him the same thing, like who the leader of their band is, and we can do an insight, or sorry, insight as well, but also a persuasion check. And then we'll follow up with some more questions about kind of like their movement and things like that.
Yeah, I'd start along the same line of questioning just to see kind of what he says as well.
Yeah, let's ask him first before we ask about his leader. So he told us he was already coming out to get Gwynleal's. So we're gonna ask him about his position and his movement. Like, is he a vanguard? Is he a, assassin or whatnot? I mean, we won't say assassin outright, but just trying to get a sense of his duties.
Was he following
Quote,
orders
yeah.
to kill Gwenlil, or was he acting of his own accord for his beliefs? That type of thing.
He already said he was on orders.
Yeah, so we're
Right.
gonna ask who gave those orders
Who
with
gave
a
him the
20
orders?
persuasion check, like names,
Okay.
and who
You
his
can take
leadership is.
guidance on that. I would have cast guidance on you.
Okay.
Cool.
So you get a 20 persuasion. You ask him, whose orders were you on? Right? That is what you ask?
Yes, and then followed up with the same question. Let's just do that first, then we'll follow up later. Yeah, who gave him the orders? And was it a mission specifically to hunt down Gwynleal's group, or just in general anyone trying to escape the mountain? But he'll ask that after who gave the orders.
So he takes in a deep breath and he goes, I cannot name names, as that would sacrifice my life. But I was ordered to put an end to these dissenters who want to endanger our people by sharing our secrets with those above the surface. This group I was sent after, but it is not the first, and I doubt it will be the last. We protect our people by making sure our secrets stay under the mountain.
Yes, indeed. The secrecy of the dwarves is infamous. Is why I know very little about your people despite living just down the road. However, in this instance, you will need to give us more than that, Toreg, if your story is to be believed. Who leads your movements under the mountain? I want names. He's going to try and intimidate this time.
I don't know what movement you are talking about.
A 20 to intimidate. He still doesn't. He doesn't know. We've been talking about his religious group this whole time.
You have not once asked him about a war. All that you guys have talked about was the burial preferences.
Shit.
Well, that might be a good place to start.
Well, Valerian has a lot of pride. He's not going to do that. But he'll go back there at a glance from Sadzi. There are two sides in this conflict. Are you daft? You are attacking Gwynlili, and your people came from the mountain to prevent the secrets from escaping. What is your side called? You gave us the name of your god. Who is in charge of your faction, your government, whatever you call it?
As I said, I cannot tell you that. You
Okay.
would know of Counselor Coppercloak, though. But our secrets stay under the mountains. Those who would betray our secrets are dealt with accordingly.
Valerian's like, I don't know if lions have this. I need to look up lion anatomy, but like hackles or whatever are raised, like his teeth are out. He's getting increasingly angry, but he's not like other than he's visibly angry, but that's all he's doing.
Starting to snarl.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
fur would
trying to
probably
snarl a
stand
little
on end.
Yeah, his hair's on end. And then he kind of like looks to Sadzino for a little bit of assistance here because he realizes he's out of depth. He doesn't really know this council or anything like that.
So
Ore's gonna look to Toreg and say, "Is this by the order of your king?"
As you say that, his face goes pale. And he goes, I see our secrets are already spreading. He has told you too much.
He did
Now
not
he's gonna
tell us
try and kill
anything of
us.
your king.
Who is the dissenter that informed you of this?
we know too much, but it's not from him. Ha 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 ha.
Ore, he kind of looks at everybody in the group, in the back of his head, kind of questioning, like, "Oh, did I say too much?" Um, I had a
Well,
good friend who shared information much longer ago than today.
Yeah, that was my question is where did that come from? Because Seth never mentioned the king on purpose.
He didn't on
You
purpose.
did
He did it
on accident as
accidentally.
the day that you were leaving. To Ore
And we sort of
specifically.
intuited, yeah, or I intuited from that, I guess, basically.
Yes.
Good catch.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was like the whole time, like he's like, "We don't share our secrets," and I'm like, "I have some of your secrets." So mainly he was trying to get the reaction of what Toreg would do as well.
Or is okay,
And
what about
so,
these
and to kind of
secrets?
see whether or not he was going to give away, like, yeah, my king said blah blah blah, but obviously he wasn't doing that.
anyway, we're asking the questions right now.
And I am answering them.
As unhelpfully as possible, but yes, you are answering them.
Given this world's disposition on kings, Valerian's kind of gonna lose it because everyone's not supposed to have a king, and this is the first he's heard of it. So he's just gonna be like, "What are you, barbarians? You have a king under the mountain!"
Valerian, kindly hush.
He'll just growl.
So that's a pretty big revelation, to be fair. Like,
Yeah, I mean, in world, like for us, it's like, whatever, king's history. In this world, like, there's a whole pact to have
yeah,
no kings anywhere.
we
Yeah.
specifically killed all of them, and then we celebrate it every year.
And as you yelled us, he goes, and this is why we keep our secrets and dispose of those who would share them, because it brings danger to us all, because so many act like that. And he nods towards Valerian.
Valerian's gonna mumble and growl something about keeping oaths, but he's gonna hold it in for now. And then he's just like seething, but he wants to talk to Sadze and Ore before just going ham on this Torag guy. Because now he's like, there's a whole race of traitors.
Yeah.
I may not have known necessarily that Stefan had told Ore, but I trust Ore enough to know that Ore probably is either trying to provoke a reaction or knows something I don't.
Yeah, Ore might have to do some real good lying here.
You're the lion, though.
Didn't.
Hey,
All right. So
Um,
he's just sitting there silently, well tied to this tree.
I look to the others and say, "I don't believe he is going to be forthcoming with any additional information."
what if we chop off his hands?
I believe we would have better luck, as the saying goes, trying to get blood out of a stone.
I feel we
Um,
should release Gwenlil to pursue his quest. As for what to do with this one, I am unsure.
we're still in earshot of Toreg. Does he react
Yep.
to Ori's
Oh yeah,
statement at all?
I'm completely fine being within earshot of saying that.
Yeah.
Ore is playing the bad cop. If you haven't
I
noticed.
think we should escort both of our uh captives here back to the mountain. It's a dwarf thing. They'll sort it out, I'm sure.
I agree.
And I motioned to Ore, like, go over to the side where he can't hear us, please.
Or
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
or he's
all
gonna like stumble with
walk
you and
away.
kind of go, yeah.
Yeah. And then instantly Valerian's like, "There's a king under the mountain."
That is a discussion for another time, and I apologize if I have overstepped. That information may have been privileged to me, but I felt we were looking for information, so if he was able to divulge that's where the order came from, we would have better information going into the dwarven kingdom under the mountain.
So
Well,
let's. Oh, sorry. Go
I was just going to say, well, it certainly provoked a reaction.
ahead. Yeah.
Indeed.
Out of character, let's do a quick rewind. I just want to make sure that we're grasping the correct cultural expectations here.
Hmm.
So there's the festival. Every single nation has a counselor, and it is a big deal that there's kings. Like, isn't the pact of counselors specifically that there will be no king in any nation, and every nation has like sworn fealty to that pact? Or is it more loose, like, we kind of have counselors and we do our own thing?
So your understanding of it, Valerian, is that the counselors are now the leaders of the nations. There are still those that have the title of king in various nations because, when the Kingslayer came through, oh, he tried not to kill kings if he could, but those that would not back down, he did. And that is why he became known as the Kingslayer. Here is because he would kill those who were abusing their power. Because the fight of that were that the kings were constantly fighting over war and territory. Or since the Kingslayer came, aim and put an end to the kings as you know them as rulers, that has stopped. And now the counselors rule the nation, and they are elected officials instead of bloodline nobility. But there are still people known as kings because they descended from that line, but they have absolutely no authority. They just, still have riches and things from the time when they did rule.
Got it. So, still out of character, a few things then. Yeah, Valerian's very pissed because Torrig just admitted that they have a king and the king is in charge. So already he's not in a good place with Torrig. Um, we know which side the king is on, apparently. According to Torrig, we probably should incite him. But according to Torrig, the king is on his side, which I just guess is very convenient.
Dude, I got a 7 on insight, so I can't help you there. I am curious, though, if some of these former aristocrats ended up being like career politicians, though.
I got a 6.
My my insight check was 13. I kind of wanted to see if he was honest about the whole king thing.
Mm-hmm. He's much harder to read than Gwenlil is. You
As we're
kind of get the idea that secrets is his job.
I'm already still very much on the idea of like Gwenlil should not go back to that kingdom because his life is in danger even going back to that kingdom. And I kind of don't like the idea of trying to keep these two guys together in the caravan without them accidentally trying to kill each other or stirring up trouble by both
Well,
being there.
Valerian is of the same opinion as Asadzi now. He thinks that we need to bring both of these guys back and keep them separated. Um, and do our best we can to ensure their safety, which it may prove very difficult depending on what comes ahead. but he feels like that's the right thing to do. It's not our place to judge which is which. And in his mind, all they're doing, since Gwynleal doesn't have a specific mission other than finding help, it's like, hey, we could be the help. We're bringing him back. But even if we're not the help, all we've done is delay a messenger. But he feels like the counterpoint to that is letting a potentially hostile messenger out is a much graver sin in this war. So he's with Sadzi, like we should bring them both back and let the dwarves handle it.
It's just politically too fraught a situation to really let either of them go.
Especially since we need passage through the mountain, or else we've just wasted a bunch of time and have to go around the mountain even longer.
Yeah.
Or over.
Or over, which would be very cold.
Or we
And
let
dangerous.
Gwenlil go and we kill Toreg.
Yeah, I think we're kind of past that point though. I mean, we've talked to both of them. It's different ideologies. In Valerian's mind, even though he doesn't like Toreg at this point, if you kill Toreg, you're just murdering someone. And that is a war crime because he's a captive. Like, this is a thing where we just need to take them back and let them figure it out. And if we get ambushed on the way and they're trying to kill others, then they force our hand and we'll defend ourselves. But we're not the judges and juries here. Like, this is out of our purview.
Well, whether he's lying or not, I think Valerian's right.
Well, he is lying. Uh, yeah, or a will concede to what the group as a whole decide. He's just honestly, Gwenlil sounds like he needs to just continue on his mission, but Toreg is, I think, is more of a threat.
Yeah. I mean, Valerian definitely thinks that too. I think maybe let's seed scene and let Mizeki go back to Caravan, and then when Mizeki's back, we can resolve some of this, unless there's other things we want to ask these two.
I've asked my questions.
Okay.
Ooh, I just thought of something.
All right.
So if we take these two dwarves back with us, is that gonna cause like major rifts with the dwarf guard who is hill dwarf, not mountain dwarf, since we know these two are mountain dwarves? Are we just getting ourselves into a whole kettle of very rotten fish?
That's my worry of trying to even take both of them back. Like taking one, like Toreg, like that makes sense to me. Like we can kind of keep an eye on him. He's not going to rush off and just go hunt Gwenlil down. It's easier to maintain one combatant versus two, especially if there's hostilities between them. And because I agree with Gwenlil's kind of quest, I fine letting him go personally. But Toreg, I think, is just too much of a threat, even to us. Like letting him go back without us, or even us going back with him. I think he could rally his troops against us like instantly.
Well,
So
and he did just say that his job is making sure the secrets don't get out, and you know his secret, so you made yourself a target for him.
yep, realize that too.
He made all of
Well,
you targets.
I think the moment we interfered, we were targets on his side.
No, because you didn't know his secrets.
Well, but we were stopping him from wiping out somebody who had his secrets. So we're
we were interfering with the successful completion of his mission.
correct.
All right, yeah, let's let Mizeki do his thing, and then when he gets back, we can finish up the discussion of what are we doing with them.
All right.
Fade in. Beautiful
Mizeki,
mid-centaur. Right
you
across the
arrive
face.
back at the caravan where they have, gathered up and started setting up camp themselves. As you
All right.
return with Alondiel and Ito in tow, they go, "So, what was all that smoke about?"
Ah, there are some dwarves having conflict. Mountain dwarves. I need to speak with the leader of the caravan
Okay.
and the security leader.
Okay, so you need to speak with Elman.
Is he both?
Elman is the caravan leader.
Okay. Yeah.
So he is in charge of the caravan, and he's the one that organized the caravan guards.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember if they were the same dude or not.
Yeah, he's the one that hired
So-
you guys as well as, to
Yes.
go out and
I need to
keep
talk
the
to
immediate
Elman.
area. Mhm. So yeah,
So I'll go find Elman, hopefully with some help,
okay.
and let Elman know that we their fires were pyres of the burning of dwarven bodies. It appears there are two groups at conflict, and we're trying to figure out how to handle the situation. We currently have two people isolated, and we've talked to them.
Do they pose a threat to us?
I do not believe they pose a direct threat at this time.
Then it does not matter to me how you deal with them.
So my primary question is, would it be acceptable to transport some of the dwarven bodies back with the caravan to the mountain, as it appears their religious beliefs requires them to be buried in the stone?
That would slow us down, as we would have to make several people walk to have the room in the carriages. But we could do that supposing everybody is okay with it.
So not preferable, but possible.
Yes, I mean, your group takes up one of the carriages. If your group is willing to walk, that frees up an
This is
entire carriage, but it slows down the whole caravan.
That's true. They don't have to be buried in the mountain. They just have to be buried in stone. So if we encounter like a cave or something on the way,
You also know that you're only a day away from the mountains at this point.
oh, I mean, yeah. So slow down is not a huge
Yeah,
deal.
they can suck it up for a day. Oh, we got there
Yeah.
2 hours late.
Yeah, we'll. Okay. All right, then with your permission, I will propose that we do that and we will sacrifice our carriage. If it is decided by my team on site that we will bring the bodies to the mountain.
He goes, all right.
Cool.
We'll get your carriage ready to hold the bodies. Do you know how many?
I do. How many? 6?
There
Uh,
were 6 from the new party, but the pirate ones I would bring. Yeah,
We're
you're
not
right.
counting the pirate ones. We're allowing the pirate
Yeah,
ones
you're
to be
right.
burned for religious
Yep.
reasons.
right.
So 6. And
Let
they are
me.
dead, so they can kind of just be stacked.
Yeah, 6. Oh no, 5, because the sixth one is still alive. Yeah.
Right.
5.
Yeah, I had to go back and look at my encounter. I was like, how many were there? Because you guys started talking 6, and I'm like, yeah, they know. No. So 5. There were 5 others in addition to Torig.
There
So
are 6 rock dwarves, and one of them is alive. There we go. Got it figured out.
yes. So yeah, 6 bodies plus 2, or 6 corpses plus 2 living bodies.
All right. So it is. There are 6 bodies. I mean, we can fit them probably.
Oh
Is
yeah,
the
no,
answer.
sorry, 5 bodies.
5 bodies, two
The
living.
number 6 is stuck in my head because
Yeah.
of this. Sorry. Yeah, 5 bodies
5
plus 2
body,
living
2
corpses.
living. All right. So I will message with the rock
Mhm.
to let them know acceptable but not preferable. We will go slightly slower and use our carriage if you decide to bring those bodies to the mountain. And then I will wait to see if probably Ori has the stone. If Ori responds,
Or
and
I
then
would have the stone.
yeah, and then I'll head back, I guess, to help bring them.
I would convey that to the rest of the group.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's get the bodies ready because I think no matter what, we want to make sure that they're interned respectfully. And then I guess for the 3 of us, we're planning on just bringing them both in, but we'll see what Mizeki says when he gets here. And then if we have to, we can do a random roll for like Ito and Elandio, or have the DM decide.
Ito and Elandiel are going to drive the carriage along with their driver to your location for the easier of loading of the bodies.
Cool. So when Mizaki returns, then we will give you the down low of what we found out and the danger that we're in, and also that we want to bring both people back to the mountain.
Woo.
And Ore is going to show his dissent on returning Glenlil.
We've solved the problem. We haven't really, but we've solved the problem.
So is Mizaki in agreement to just bring them both back? Is the main question
I-
because.
I mean, I don't have a reason to not do so.
All right, throw them back. Let's go.
Okay.
But we're gonna put them in different areas. Also, we haven't checked Sadzi's concern, which we probably need to do with the hill dwarf in the caravan. I know it's only for a day, but now we've got 2 dissenting factions of mountain dwarf and a hill dwarf all together. It's gonna be a real fun time.
I feel like I would ask that. Was Sadzi's concern mentioned before I left?
No.
Okay, damn it. All right, well, we'll figure it out. He's gonna just stab both of them and say, "Long live the hills."
Mhm.
I mean, that would take care of a lot of problems. Just saying.
Problem solved. They're both dead.
All right, so we're
We-
gonna
we
unbind them from the
traded-
tree and bind their hands. Do they have manacles? We don't have any manacles here. I think I had one. Oh yeah, we never resolved that off air. I forgot. I'm pretty sure I bought a pair, but I don't have them on my sheet. But anyway, do they have manacles at the caravan, or do we just need to tie them up with rope?
You'll need to
We
use
had
the rope to tie them.
we did have one pair of manacles, I think, that were on Toreg.
Oh,
I
dang
think
it.
you guys didn't know if you had manacles, and so you just tied everybody with rope to trees.
Right. Okay. I thought we had. I remember talking about it. I thought I had them. That's fine. Rope's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get them in, and then let's go back to the town.
All right. So you're binding them both with rope, and
But in separate areas, yeah.
okay. So
We'll probably
basically,
put
3 of you on the left side of the caravan with Torig, and the other 3 of you on the right side with Gwenliel.
yeah, but I think we need to put Toreg in the wagon, and then have someone monitor
The
him.
the carriage is filled with 5 corpses.
All right, never mind. We just get to push him along for a day.
Yes.
We can tie him to the back.
So, you also have a night to sleep through, because the caravan was camping for the night when you saw the smoke. So,
Well, that's gonna be great.
how do you want to handle that?
Wait, don't Ori and Alandiel, neither of them have to sleep, right? Or they only have to like sleep for 4 hours?
Alundiel goes into a trance, but he's not fully aware in there for 4 hours, whereas Ore is fully aware, but he still needs his full 6 or 8 hours of rest. I don't remember what it is.
It's 6. It's 6
Yeah.
hours being motionless, but
Yeah.
fully conscious
Yeah.
during the time.
So, would it be possible that we could have Ore on watch for the first 2 hours and then or one of us on watch for the first 2 hours and then Ore goes on watch 2 hours into that, we could have Alandiel once he's out of his trance start watching him and then maybe one of us could get up a little early.
I could watch him consistently. That shouldn't be an issue for Ore.
Yeah, because Oray's fully conscious and aware during it. He just has to stay motionless. I would also like
Yeah.
to point out that neither of them are resisting your arrest on them.
For
Good
now,
to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
yeah, let's so we'll inform them both of our decision, and then we'll, let them know we'll do our best to ensure their safety.
Okay.
Well, our intention is to return them both to their respective peoples under the mountain, which, again, looking at the pendulum swinging back and forth on the moral dilemma, we're implicitly helping Toreg with his mission now, but still, it seems like the right thing to do right here, for most of us at least.
Yeah.
Um, and hopefully that will placate them a little bit. And then Valerian will want to have another guard in addition to Ore every time, so we can, like him and Ito and whoever else is willing, can split some shifts, including the caravan guards. I just want to make sure he's not going to run off or something.
Okay.
Yeah, with like settling them down for each night, Ore's certainly do like an insight check to see if either one of them is like planning to try and get away if they can.
Okay. So go ahead and make your perception roll then, Ore, to watch them through the night.
Oh, that's a whopping 5 for a total of 12.
Okay.
And Valerian will take first watch as is kind of tradition now, so he'll do a perception as well,
Okay.
which is a whopping 7. So we're real alert.
Been a long day.
It has indeed been a long day. All right. Okay. Ore, you're trained on them throughout the night, not noticing anything other than that they are watching each other very closely.
Yeah, that was my expectation.
We probably would have thrown their weapons in somewhere too. It's kind of disrespectful to just like throw their weapons away.
I
Oh
figured you
yeah,
threw
we
them in the bag of holding.
Yeah, not yeah,
probably
like
would have
not
looted the bodies we're returning as well to see if they had anything of interest. Not necessarily value, not really want to take all their cash, but certainly want to see if they had anything, emblems, rings,
yeah, like a note with the instructions on it or something for their mission.
the
Uh,
Ovaltine code ring.
no, they don't have anything of interest on them, um, unless you consider like the bare minimum that they have on them interesting, because they just have their weapons, their armor, and rations. Other than that, they have nothing else with them. Bare
Gotcha.
How many
minimum.
how many rations do they have? I'm wondering how long they thought they were going to be out.
So each of them carries 5 days worth of rations.
Cool. All right, shall we proceed?
Yep.
Okay. Who was taking second shift after Valerian?
Um, let's say Ito.
I think it would be Alondiel because of the shorter rest for him. He only gets the 4 hours.
Yeah, but if you
If
have
he
him do
trips,
third, then he's
all right.
already fully
Then he's
rested.
up. Yeah.
Gotcha. I
I
get
can
you.
Yeah.
take. I can take it.
Okay.
Can I see in the dark
Okay.
yet?
Did you take something that lets you see in the dark?
I can't remember if I'm second. I'm not a second level warlock yet. No,
You are
so I
not a
can't.
second level warlock yet.
So
Okay.
no, I can't see in the dark yet.
Yeah, so give me a perception check with disadvantage then.
But I do have a dagger of warning.
I could give you dark vision for an hour.
I got a 9.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, having dark vision wouldn't be much better than having a torch.
All right. Third watch. So you don't notice anything during your watch. Alondiel, we determined, was third watch. Okay.
Yeah.
She's
Natural 20.
sees forever. He's like, ah.
So Alondiel's just kind of staring at them, watching in the whole time. And every time I'm that Gwenliel moves, he kind of tilts his head at him, and then after Gwenliel does this about 4 or 5 times, Alondiel walks over there and bends down and retightens the rope. And then he turns and he goes over to Torik, looks at his ropes, tightens them.
Are these dudes escaping? How dare they?
Not anymore with Eagle Eyes Alondale on the watch.
Yeah. And
Go
then
to your elf eyes,
he
see
just goes
shitty
over
rope tying.
and sits next to Ore and goes, "You need to learn to watch them better."
I have not taken my eyes off of them.
But like in Alondale fashion, like, hey, bruh, dude, Ore.
All right. And Alondiel is going to continue watching for the rest of this, and so with his perception for the rest of the night, they're not getting away. So that was very lucky that Alondiel rolled that, because it would have been quite interesting. But yeah. All right. So in the morning, you all are fully rested, so you can take your full long rests as needed. And you begin heading towards the mountain with dwarfs in tow and your carriage full of bodies. So you are all on foot, and the caravan is moving slower to accommodate your slower speed. So instead of reaching it by the end of day today, you won't reach it until about mid-morning tomorrow. So you'll have another night's rest. But now that Alondiel
Alright.
caught them, you're going to tie their ropes much tighter this evening to make sure that they can't escape.
So not just tying their hands behind their back, but like doing a much more secure job of tying their arms so they don't have as much room to.
Yeah, it's like tying their feet together at night, tying their arms behind their back, and then going around their front to hold them to
Just
hold their
put
arms in the
them with the
back.
bodies.
Ore's got this.
Just
So
lock them in the thing with the bodies.
Insanity said there's no room.
Take 2 of the bodies out and put them in there.
yeah.
That's cruel and unusual punishment, sir.
Fair.
Plus,
Hey, I'm sure the bodies are probably softer than the ground.
plus you'd be disrespecting the bodies, which
Alright, let's not do that and move forward.
We don't want to
Okay.
disrespect those bodies that we killed.
What,
Because
you guys
of
wanna
that
do
though,
today?
and you know that they were trying to escape, you'll be able to keep them in tow for the night, continue on, and mid-morning you arrive in the city of Zundare, which is a city that is often contested between the Dwarven nation of the Hand of the God Mountains and the nation that Mint is the capital of. Why am I forgetting this? Let me grab my notes really quick. What is this nation called?
Cinnamon.
Mintopolis.
No, it's not that. Let me find it.
Mintasia.
It
Mint
is
chocolate chip.
Otrana, and it is one of the smallest nations. And Zundare, since it sits right up against the mountain, and technically part of it extends into the mountain, and it's debated whether it falls under the hand of the High Throne of Bedrock, which is the hand of the gods, or Otrana. And they kind of bicker over it, but in the end, neither Counselor Coppercloak or Gleaming Hand care. They both look after it.
But who gets all the taxes?
So
They share.
sort of like a collective system.
Like Israel.
Let's, yeah, that actually probably is appropriate.
Right. Okay. So, you have arrived in the city of Zendare. You can pass through the city directly to the opposite side and enter the mountains, or you can spend some time in the city. You've arrived mid morning.
Is there any rock nearby?
The mountain is right up against the city, so yes, there is plenty of stone nearby.
Just sort of shove them under a bridge.
Great. Wonderful.
I feel like at
So
this point we should give them to someone.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Let's give them to a professional dwarf, a lifelong dwarf, and let them do their rights the right way.
hey, you there, dwarf. I've got some people for you.
Do you
I
want
mean,
to
an
see a
authority.
body?
I
Doesn't have to
like
be a
city
body.
guard, like whatever dwarf council. I'm not the
I
counselor
feel
specifically,
like
but like the
alerting the
dwarf
city
guard.
guard very politely that we have some dwarves who fell in the plains and we are attempting to return them to proper rest is
Yeah,
That
likely our best bet.
let's do that.
Okay.
maybe also approach it as we found dwarves fighting each other. We tried to stop
Let's
them.
not.
Nope,
Let's
Let's
not
not.
not
going
go
there at all.
there.
Nope.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
We don't need to explain how we got these bodies.
Honored members of the Dwarven Guard or military or whatever have fallen outside of the mountain, and we are bringing them back home. That's all we have to say.
What are we doing with
Done.
the captives then?
We're gonna give them both back to their respective parties
I-
if we can,
Yeah, that would be the
which we
first
probably
goal.
can't.
Second goal is we just give them to the guard and one of them possibly is killed.
Although
And that's
Zundare is more of a neutral city, so this is probably the best place to give them back actually, instead of going under the mountain, because I figure there's going to be guards. Like it's well known that the dwarves value secrecy and heavily guarded in the mountain, blah blah.
yeah.
So I think our likelihood of getting one of them out alive under the mountain is very low. But in Zundare, there's clearly going to be a faction of both of them in Zundare too, where we can be like, here you go with the people by.
Okay. So yeah, like find dwarven guards to say what you said. We found them in the plains.
Okay. So most dwarves in this city are merchants, because the dwarves do prefer to live under the mountain as opposed to above in the city of Zundare. Air. Um, and they do sell lots of fine weaponry and armor.
Nice. Can we find some merchants who can commute back home and go through Dwarven customs for us and get some representatives to handle these gentlemen?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find dwarves that will be willing to take um, them off of your hands and under the mountains. Are you going to also try and request passage, or are you just like take these guys and then you're going to figure something else out?
I mean, it's up to the rest of the party if we want to shop or anything. We probably want to do a classic, almost a party meal because we're gonna be hungry. But Valerian's thought is like, let's just get through the mountain. Like, especially with the conflict, let's just put our heads down, get through here, and go out the other side to our destination ASAP.
Do I know where Sephin? Like, I'm trying to. I don't see specifically in my notes, but I don't know if he ever shared exactly where he lived or like where his faction of druids came from. I'm sure it's not Zundare. It's probably the under the bedrock. But
Yeah, he lived under the mountain. He shared with Mizeki quite a bit when they were on the road for the first Joy-Con, where they were like he lives on the mountain. His certain circle of druids is kind of like more arcane in nature. They serve dwarven leadership, and then he let slip when he was talking to you about him going to serve the king. So you're quite confident that he's going to serve whatever side the king is on.
right, I would be actively looking for other individuals that shared similar tattoos to what Sefin had.
They're
And
very, very, very secretive. They're probably in animal form. You'd have to find them that way.
oh yeah, I'd be watching for any animals running through the city that would come off as druidish to me. Druish.
So you want to see if any animals you around the city you think are druids?
Just kind of, I want to keep my wits about me to look for other druids,
Okay.
and anything that reminds me of the outfits, the attire, whatever Sefin had, to kind of put me in the direction of being able to ask after him.
Okay.
Uh, in Zendare, anything that would kind of direct me in that kind of search.
Okay. So do you want to just kind of look around and use your insight to kind of try and identify who might be druids? Or do
Yes.
you want to leave a message in druidic somewhere?
I probably would do both.
Okay.
I'm certainly looking for any kind of druidic messages in town,
Mhm.
something that might kind of put me on the right track as well. But certainly, if I can leave a message, that would absolutely be what I'd be looking for.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can leave a message. Throughout the city, you notice a few spaces in the city that are marked with Druidic that you identify as places to leave messages, is to communicate with other Druids. It's the way of sending secret messages.
Sure,
So.
easy enough.
As far as the other option, go ahead and give me first a perception check to spot animals and then an insight check to watch their behavior and see if they seem like normal animals or not normal animals.
Okay, so that is a total of 22 for watching for animals that may not be normal animals.
It's pretty easy to spot animals in the city. There are a lot that run all around over Zundare. There are a lot of dogs that run about this city.
So Sefin turned into, was it a hyena the
Mhm.
first time he
Yeah.
wild shaped?
Yeah, which is
Yep.
very
I'd be watching
reminiscent
for
of
hyena-esque, yeah, very hyena-esque animals is what I'd be kind of keeping my eye out for.
right. So you're keeping your eye out for gnolls, but in animal form.
Yes, and roctopuses.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You don't see any hyenas or roctopuses the whole time that you're in this city.
Of the animals that I do see, with all the dogs running around, do I feel through, would an insight check to see if
Yeah.
feel
So
that they're
insight
druidic?
check to
Gotcha.
identify their behavior as normal or not.
That's a 13.
As far as you can tell, these are all normal animals that are about this city. None of them are acting strangely. And so either they're very good druids who know it's best to blend in, or they're actually just dogs.
Okay. Again, it's all just perception and noticing at this point. He's not gonna,
Hmm.
or he's not gonna act on
Okay.
like walking
And
up to dogs. Are you a druid? No, he's not doing any of that.
what message did you want to leave in Druidic?
Um,
Yeah. Oh,
uh, Single metallic male searching for uh, classic dwarven friend, all about shape changing. No, I'm kidding. I honestly, it would probably just, it would be
you're
Ore's
not.
in town looking for
That's the
Sefin.
message now. It's too late.
It's
You've left a
canon.
classified. You've left a classified missed connections ad.
Okay.
Single metallic male
So
looking
so
for
what do you
dwarven
actually want to
companion.
say, Ore?
I putting it specifically out there that Ore is in town hoping to connect with Sefin if he's available.
Okay. We'll note that. Okay. So, what does everybody else want to do in town while Ore is watching animals? Don't all do things at once.
I don't think I have much coin, but let's go look at a shop, armor
Um,
shop.
yeah. I would also just like to reiterate that still no one has checked the coin pouch that you got from
We
Elvin.
checked the coin pouch.
And also, did we settle up any additional funds that were owed to us from what we did on the
Oh,
journey?
good. Yeah.
We may have skegged that by making them a day late.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah. Let's ask anyways. Let's ask the caravan leader.
mhm. Okay, so the coin pouch has 200 gold in it for your, you know, week of security.
Nice.
And when you ask him, he's like, "What? I gave you your payment when I hired you. If you want to accompany us back, I can hire you again, I guess."
We
But
will play it cool and say thank you, sir, and be on our way.
he just nods.
Um, Valerian wants to try and send a message. So I looked at my gold total. He's gonna not not have very much to buy anything, so we'll skip the armory shop. But he wants to send a message back to Ucha, to his commander
Okay,
and his
by
family,
magic or by courier?
just by courier.
Okay, pretty easy to do. It's usually a copper per mile. Um, so where in Utra are you trying to send that to?
Just Luton, Northern
Just to
City.
Bluton? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to cost you about 2 gold in total.
Okay. He's gonna send 2 messages. He'll send one to his family, and then he'll send one to his commander,
Okay.
and then he's done.
All right. And do you want to just tell me what those are later, or do you want to do that now?
I'll tell you what they are later. The one
Okay.
to his commander is just a general check-in, and then the one to his family is just a bit more benign, like doing well on assignment. Thanks. He can't really like divulge where he's at or his mission is.
Sounds good.
Thanks for the hat, Mom.
All right. I'll find out what Ito and Alandia want to do later. Sadzi, Mizeki, anything?
I will probably hunt out a good butcher shop for my usual purchases.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to not culturally offend anyone and find a good place to eat.
Okay.
You're not gonna see if you can find more gem candy?
Yeah,
I've
that's
got plenty. I have, hold on, I have 113.
He
Are
bought a
you
Uh,
are
lot.
you sure that's enough?
it
Cavities. He's
should
got
be. If
113 cavities.
as long as the winter doesn't last too long, we should survive.
The winter
perfect.
season is mm,
It's very long.
isn't happening yet. So like
Yeah.
you're yeah,
We will barter if we must. I will sell off the Catwoman
yeah. Like
to get more
summer
gem candy.
is over at this point and you're into fall.
Yeah,
So winter
I'm
is
ready.
coming, but it's not here yet.
Yeah, I'm ready. I think I've got enough to last me 6 to 7 months.
In fact, most of winter you might be under the mountains for.
Woo! Gonna skip winter. This will be the best ever.
Not all of it, but part of it at least. It's a ways under
Nice.
the mountain. So
But yeah, I average 20 per month, so we should be okay, barring some disaster.
okay. So butcher and restaurant. Got it.
Or I would like to be able to see if you can find some manacles just to add to their equipment. Kind of
Okay.
get a
Oh
price
yeah,
on them.
good call. Valerian wants 2 pairs too.
Okay. There is a general shop where you can purchase some manacles, but you do notice that the dwarven sellers also have manacles for sale.
Standard price is like 2 gold.
I would have to look it up because I don't know the prices of everything off the top of my head.
Yeah,
So
that's the price in the books.
it's
I'm
two
just wondering
gold.
if they're charging us more or anything. Yeah.
The dwarfs do. So the dwarfs are 3 gold, but the just the general shop is uh, the regular price of 2 gold.
Is there anything special about the dwarven ones?
Better craftsmanship.
They're dwarven.
You can rely on them.
I just meant like maybe spelled to work better on a certain race or races, but sure, that
Built
works
dwarf
too.
tough.
Forged in the mountains of the hand of the gods.
All right, I bought 2 pair.
Okay.
Not from the dwarves.
I will buy a pair from the dwarves as like a cultural item. This is how I remember your people. Chains.
Okay.
Actually, I'm
city-
probably gonna buy a toy. Is there anyone that makes small mechanical toys?
There are a few people in the city that make small toys. So there are several small little craftsmanships, but in addition to like the dwarfs and things that come up from the mountains, there are also deep gnomes that come up, as well as gray dwarfs and dark elves. And there
So
are
weird.
various different things that you can purchase from them, and there are some little trinkets and toys among them.
I would like to purchase a tiny mechanical horseman,
A tiny mechanical horseman. All right, that
if
will
possible.
run you.
I have 4 gold and 25 silver.
It will run you 4 gold and 25 silver. No, it will run you
Curses.
15 silver. So 1 gold, 5 silver.
I will gladly pay 15 silver for a tiny mechanical horseman.
Okay.
It's
Um,
going on my.
While he's shopping around for like tiny mechanical things, I'm going to look for a, some sort of a figurine of, again, a roctopus or a hyena.
okay.
Specifically, a hyena is what he would look for first, but a roctopus would be like a good
What
second if he picked
kind
hyena
of
first.
figurine?
Something. Well, with it
Are you
being
are
where
you
we are,
talking
out
about
of
like
stone,
wood carved? Are you talking more
like a
like
stone carved, like a stone carved,
stone
maybe
carved?
maybe a pendant or something, just something of. He's
Okay.
looking for a tribute that if he finds Sephin, he'd like to give Sephin a tribute
Okay.
because
Yeah, so stonework,
Sephin
you're
meant
going
a
to
lot
want to
to
go
Ori.
to the Dwarven sellers here, because in addition to those that brought up weapons and armor, um, there are those that brought up uh, stonecraft as well. So yeah,
Cool.
you can get a stone figure there. They take requests. They don't have a roctopus because that's not something that they commonly get
Sure. So
asked.
hyena would be is the first inclination.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can find a hyena. For the stonework, it will be 8 silver.
8 silver, got it.
Um, Mizeki,
Yes.
your restaurant is the Whiskey Brothers,
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
and Satsi, your butcher is a dark elf by the name of Kellenin Taziz. And he has all sorts of rare meat that you haven't even heard of that comes from under the mountain.
Okay. Well, first, let's start with the blood. And then, does he offer like a sampler pack or something?
Um, he can make one up for you. And he goes, "How large of samples would you like of each?"
Let me see how much coin I have.
You're just gonna be like, "How much will this amount of money get me?"
Okay, something under 20 gold, let's go with.
He looks at you and he goes, 20 gold, you say? Okay. Yeah, for sure. I can put together a bundle for that.
Okay, can you include the blood in that?
Yes.
Something
Yes, I can.
under the lifetime wages of a common man, please.
Cool.
And he gets to work and he starts grabbing all sorts of different meats and wrapping them up and putting them into it. And he brings it to you and sets the first piece down and then comes back. And after he's done this about 20 times, he goes, "All right, that will be 20 gold." And he sets a big bucket of blood up on the counter next to it. It's about a gallon of blood.
Perfect.
Uh,
So I will hand him the 20 gold.
and the food is about 40 pounds of meat.
And I may ask if he can hold it until I can go borrow Elandiel's bag.
He
Need
goes,
a chest of preserving.
"Sure. Yeah, I can hold on to this for you. So, just in case I'm not the one out here, what name should I hold this under?"
Samantha.
All right.
Samantha's fine.
Samantha. Thank you. Samantha the Tabaxi. And he kind of gathers it off, puts it on a table in the back, and puts that note next to it. He goes, "You have a great day, Samantha."
Thanks, you too. And then I'm going to go to find Elandiel and be like, I just need to borrow your bag for a couple minutes.
Can't shove all of like 40 pounds of meat in our bag of holding.
Shut up. It's an
Yeah.
inner space pocket. It will hold it. Nothing will go bad.
Oh.
That's not how it works. It doesn't stop time. That's a different magical item.
You're assuming it's going to be around that long.
Zazu's like 2 in the morning. Ah! Just covered in chunks of meat.
I mean, the butcher
was
does
gonna
know how to
share.
preserve meat, so, it'll last a while.
Yeah, fair.
But, yeah.
I'll share. Ore, you want some meat?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Valerian?
Elandiel
Yum.
will accompany you because I don't know how well he would relinquish the bag. So we'll just say he comes with you to help you load it.
Valerian would totally be down for some meats, but he would probably cook them a little more than Sanzi is accustomed to. His portion, of course, not the whole thing.
I just like my meat very rare. That's all.
With extra blood on the side.
It's like sauce.
It's like a French dip sandwich. You just dip it in the blood.
Sure,
Is
we'll
it-
go with that.
Is it bloody enough that if I were to cast like healing word on it, it would start moving?
You could try.
So with however many weeks it's been since Valerian has joined, he's pretty sure that Sanzi likes this meat more raw and with a lot more blood on the side than even a normal cat does. So he's gonna ask her about it in private. Not like at the meal table, but seems a little interesting.
I'm a huntress. Sometimes I did not have time to cook all of my meat thoroughly, and I grew to like it this way.
And the blood?
It's for ritual purposes.
Gives it a nice tang, don't you think?
There are limits to everything.
Well, suit yourself.
And that is yummy meal.
Okay. All right. Anything else you're all wanting to do while you're in this city?
We're not heading deeper into the mountain same day, right? We're gonna take a night here.
We
I mean,
arrived
that's what
like
I'm trying to get at. Is
we arrived
Okay.
in the morning, so it can't be much past like noon.
yeah. By the time you're done with all your shopping, it's lunchtime. So after your meal, yeah, it's just barely afternoon.
Get a whiskey
Valerian
brother burger.
a whiskey brothers burger.
Just want to be clear, that's been had.
With the Whiskey Brothers burger. Is that what
I
I
want
just
to get a
heard?
Whiskey Brothers burger. Yeah, I assume they have one. We
They
can't
they
beat the
they
Whiskey
make a
Brothers.
burger, but I mean, they don't call it the Whiskey Brothers burger. It's just a burger.
Well,
They
that's
call
what
it a
I'm calling
sandwich.
it.
Yeah. Do you like tell the waiter like you should call this the Whiskey Brothers Burger?
Yeah, I should. I will tell them that.
He goes, oh yeah, cool.
It's got a good ring to it. You could even put like a distilled whiskey sauce on it.
Ooh, yeah,
Then
we could do that.
then it leads to ambiguity because people start just calling it the whiskey, and then when you go to order, you say, "I'll have the whiskey," and they don't know what you're talking about.
But it's a great joke because, like, you know, that's how bars make dumb jokes.
Yeah,
Hey, puns are not dumb; they're fun.
That's it's like when you order flapjacks at this local place, but they give you a quesadilla because the owner was drunk sometime and he called them flapjacks, and that's just what they are now.
that's funny.
Okay.
So it's noon. Do we want to dive in? Did we figure out what happened with the people? I missed that, I think.
No, you found some dwarfs that were willing to escort them
Take them. Okay.
into the mountain.
So we just
Can
kind
we
of
in? I
relinquish
want to
them.
insight. Yeah. Whew, 8. That was awesome. I just want to insight specifically for Galen Leal, I forgot his name.
Guanliel.
To make sure that to make sure that he's gonna be treated all right.
Uh,
Valerian's not as worried about Torag, but because Torag seems to be part of like the Inquisition or something, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna get wherever he needs to go. But yeah, Galil, it seems to be in danger.
the same thing. Inciting whoever we're handing him off to see if he's going to be in safe hands. I rolled a 24 on
Okay.
my insight check.
So the people that you hand him off to seem to know Guanliel. You get that they're probably part of the Forge god, as they are the sellers and makers of the fine instruments and manacles and things that you have purchased.
And nobody's like attacking anyone, right?
No, not in the city.
Okay, good. Not in the city, just out in the woods. There's dudes stabbing each other.
And then we'll try and secure passage. Well, is going to inquire about securing passage through the under the mountain. And then we as a party can talk about it. But he's just of the opinion like, let's go, let's
Yeah.
go. It's noon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just still the plan. We don't have a reason specifically to stay here.
But
Go-
I was going to say, while Ore was still with Gwynleal, handing him off, kind of would lean close to Gwynleal's ear and say, Thalia be with you. I support your cause. And just very quietly to him as we hand him off to his people. And yeah, Ore's cool to go today into the mountain, secure passage.
Okay.
Also, and I apologize, I kind of looked back through my notes. It wasn't a hyena, it was a mastiff. So it would have been a mastiff, stone mastiff that I would have gotten.
Okay.
I want to see if I can get a message to Stefan.
Okay.
I don't know his position in anything. I know his name, and I think the name of his order.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, because I mean, I traveled with those guys. I would assume it had come up, and they said it at some point.
The
So I
Stone
would like to,
Sentinels.
yeah, I would like to try and send a message to Stefan or the Stone Sentinels if Stefan cannot be reached directly.
Okay.
Con-
By courier or magic?
How much does sending it by magic cost?
Well, let's see. Sending is what level spell?
I want to say
Third?
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 It's third or fourth. I think it's third.
It's third, yeah, because I just got it on my cleric.
All right. So the use of sending is going to be 300 gold.
So a courier.
Okay. You're going to have to find a dwarven courier then for sure.
Well, yeah.
Or, well, or any of the other races that you've seen that obviously live under
Yeah.
the mountain. So,
Probably go with a dwarven courier. Just support local businesses.
okay.
Is Mizeki doing this with the rest of the party, or are you just doing it while you're off on your own?
I mean, he would probably tell any of them as he came across them, hey, I was going to try and send a message. Does anyone want to do that? Because that seems
So-
like something that would involve At
Everybody.
least Ore and
Yeah.
Elendil.
Yeah, or Ore would have been right there. Probably already after Ore did the druidic message, and then you make that comment, and Ore's like, "Yeah, I would be
Oh yeah,
happy to do that as well."
let's go send a bing bong to our
There's
buddy.
there's an official way to do it. I should have thought of that.
Or it's just like, I send the birds.
Valerian will suggest sending 2, just in case.
2 birds or 2 messages?
2 messages on 2 birds.
What if
You want
someone
2
has them in a
couriers to take
bush?
the message. Or if they throw a stone and hit both of them, that's just really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Okay. So the courier tells you that it's going to be 10 gold to send this message because of danger pay.
I will ask about the danger pay. What is dangerous? Because this is a route we're hoping to travel.
Yeah, the dwarves are currently fighting each other. So not all the paths through into the cities are safe.
But I guess flanks would be the appropriate.
Or Ore
Pretty
would
sure
have already been
Colossus-
like counting out the 10 gold when he first
Yeah,
offered it.
we'll pay it. The 10 gold's way better than 300. I've now distracted myself with what would be the appropriate colloquialism for butts for centaurs. I'm gonna go with flanks.
Hindquarters.
That's too long though. Hinds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
hinds.
centaurs
Hinds
are
works.
also too long, so what's your point?
This is true. We are too long.
Hawks.
Hawks. That'd be a good one too.
Haunch?
But yeah, we'll pay the 10. We'll send a message.
Okay.
I paid the 10.
I assume we'll have Elendil draw something on the paper for us.
Okay. What do you want to send and what do you want Alondiel to draw?
I feel like Elendil should draw our current party. Like it doesn't
Easy
have to be
enough.
super good. Just like quick sketches of us to describe who people are. And then we'll just send like a brief description of like we found Valerian, he's from Utra and he's a little weird. And here's what we've been up to. What have you been up to? Call me back.
We're in the Dwarven area. Be nice to meet for lunch.
Yeah,
Adventurers.
putting a note in there that we're heading
Yeah,
towards
we're gonna
his
try and head
kingdom.
that way. Yeah. Lonely adventurers in your area.
Yeah.
Wish to meet.
There's like a dotted line of Stefan's outline.
Wish
Yeah, we'll
you
have a
were
little dotted
here.
section for Sefin in between the middle, like we miss you, Sefin.
So,
But also we'll have Valerian behind him, like much larger.
do you want him drawn in like silhouette?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Alondiel can do that. All right. Message sent to Sefin. Finn
Woo.
or the
Or the stone,
stone
sentinels
sentinels
on his
if
behalf.
Sefin can't be reached. Okay.
Yeah. And
Do
we
we-
assume that they'll be able to reach him, hopefully.
Do we maybe want to ask if they can help us get through safely?
We don't know how. I will ask how long the message will take to get there. That's a good question. Good job, Sadzi.
The stone sentinels are usually based out of the High Throne of Bedrock, which is the main city under the mountain. That's about 4 days' journey from here. So 4 days.
At
Plus,
that point, is it worth us waiting like 10 days just to possibly get an escort or get back a sorry, we're busy with the Civil War?
Might not even be worth it to send a message. Might just show up.
I
ask
want to
for
send the
stone
message
sentinels
ahead
on
of us
detail.
because
Yeah.
this guy's
That's
almost certainly going to get there before we do. Like
That's true.
knowing
That's
us.
true. Yeah, kind of put in the message. We had these two guys.
Yeah.
These are their names.
Yeah, and we can
Gotcha.
add that. We can add the information about the dudes and just our concerns, and that we would appreciate some clarity, and that we're on our way, and we may arrive shortly after the message.
I mean,
Looking
it's just
forward to
terribly
hearing
rude.
from you.
It's terribly rude to show up at somebody's house without letting them know. Like, at least send a text message.
I
So
sent
we're
you a telegram.
hey, I'm walking
Yes.
through your front door. Just thought you should know.
You should have received a letter about half an hour ago, according to this map. I
Okay.
mean, I imagine it will take us more than 4 days to get there, just knowing our ability to travel in a straight line.
Okay. So, You are all just going to enter into the mountain on your own and work your way through?
We
Well, we're
should
gonna
probably
secure
get a
passage.
guide or something,
Yeah,
or
guide.
Yeah,
a
like
caravan, or
yeah, same thing. Try and find.
we have a successful track record as caravan guards now.
Kind of.
We can say that without lying. We guarded them from hags and
Can we say that
ogres.
without lying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hush.
we did actually a very good job at that job.
Yeah, like that was one of the few
Alright.
things we did legitimately do good at.
Technically, the ogres were before you were the guards.
Yes, and that was proving that we could do the job. We're gonna grandfather that in.
It was your job interview?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did an on-site interview with ogres. I mean, I've legitimately thinking back on it, like I don't think we did anything besides suddenly showing up with bodies, which
Wiping out
wasn't
a
really
group
our
of
fault.
dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're the captain of that caravan, you are very satisfied with the wage that you paid us.
5 stars.
All right. Well, in that case, since you are waiting to find an escort through the mountains, we will go ahead and end our session here. I know it's a little early, but diving into the mountains next time will be great.
And hopefully we'll
So,
have Elendil.
yeah, hopefully we'll have everybody. But thanks everybody for coming, for watching, and for hanging
Yay.
out and listening as we play this game. It's a lot of fun for us. We have a lot of good times. We hope you enjoy it too. But thanks so much for watching and for joining. Bye bye.
We did it.
And we are playing next week, yeah?